Last night you might have watched an action movie where aircraft were performing crazy maneuvers close to each other. And now you are wondering, what is the minimum safe distance between two aircraft? Or maybe you are a frequent traveler, watching this video out of curiosity. So, what is exactly the minimum safe distance? This topic is called aircraft separation or separation standards. Aircraft separation is the name given by air traffic control. Just like the name suggests, they are responsible for controlling the traffic in the air. In aircraft separation, the minimum safe distance between two aircraft is highlighted to avoid catastrophic collisions. The second factor of using aircraft separation is wake turbulence. Wake turbulence is actually the disturbance in the air formed by an aircraft. There are two main factors behind it. The first one is due to jet wash. Jet wash is the name given to all the expelled thrust from the engine. All this thrust causes disturbances in the air but for a short time. The second factor is wingtip vortices. This wake turbulence can last up to 3 minutes. The turbulence is a lot more dangerous to aircraft when aircraft are taking off or landing as they are very close to the ground. So in this case, another aircraft should be far away so that it doesn't get caught in the turbulence. The separation standard varies from region to region, however the minimum distances are usually very similar across the world. There are two different types of separation, such as the vertical distance and the horizontal distance. According to the International Civil Aviation Organization, the minimum vertical distance between two civil aircrafts depends on their altitudes. If the airplane is flying below 29,000 feet, then the minimum vertical distance should be 1,000 feet. If the plane is above 29,000 feet, then the safest minimum distance increases to 2,000 feet. However, across the world there is a huge amount of airspace that allows for reduced vertical separation minimum operations, which allows aircrafts with the necessary equipment to fly within 1,000 feet of each other en route to their destination. Just for some perspective, civil aircraft that are vertically separated by 1,000 feet are separated by the same height as the Chrysler Tower in New York City. The minimum horizontal distance between two aircrafts is 5 nautical miles or around 9 kilometers. But this is outside the terminal control area in Class A airspace or Class E airspace. In the terminal control area, the distance decreases to only 3 nautical miles or around 5.5 kilometers. Just for some perspective, civil aircraft that are vertically separated by 5 nautical miles are almost separated by the length of the Great Wall of China. There is a common misconception that ATC is solely responsible for the separation of aircraft, but this is not completely true. The responsibility also lies on the shoulder of the pilots to look out for other traffic and use systems such as the traffic collision avoidance system to avoid other aircrafts. For safe flying, there are two different rules which an aircraft can fly under: visual flight rules and instrument flight rules. VFR flights are only allowed to take part in optimum weather, and therefore it is common for sightseeing flights and training flights for brand new student pilots learning the basics. IFR flights are allowed to occur in any weather conditions, and therefore passenger airlines, cargo airlines and corporate jets flights always fly under instrument flight rules when possible, which is almost every flight. Let's speak about an exception, in which aircraft separation standards are not necessarily adhered to. This exception occurs when aircrafts are on approach to land on parallel runways at the exact same airport. In this case, these aircrafts are allowed to get extremely close to one another as the aircraft's crew are flying precision approaches. Parallel approaches often occur at San Francisco International Airport, Chicago O'Hare International Airport, and a number of other airports around the world. Is for military aircraft as they fly in tight formations for intercepting aircrafts and for refueling operations, therefore separation standards do not need to be adhered. Military pilots also especially train to safely fly within close proximity to other aircrafts. One last exception is for acrobatic airplanes as they put on amazing displays at airshows by flying in close proximity to other aircrafts. These acrobatic teams get the necessary permission to put on flying displays from the necessary authorities, and these acrobatic teams also practice these death-defying stunts many times before flying a display in front of a crowd. So, what about your experience? How close have you seen two aircraft flying to each other? If you enjoyed our video and learned anything, don't forget to press the thumbs up. Also, subscribe to our channel to see more interesting questions answered.